One post on X, 3 sentences, 3 drivers, and somehow more honesty about TrackHouse Racing's 2026 season than anything the team itself has said publicly all year. Dale Earnhardt Jr. read one post and replied with this: SVG is making it on points on a struggling team. He'll get better, and so will Trackhouse at some point. Connor Zilisch may bolt, and Ross Chastain would need a much better opportunity to bail on a team that gave him a shot. Loyalty would play a role in his mind. 3 drivers, 3 completely different situations, every single one accurate. Right now, SVG sits 15th in the standings. Chastain sits 21st. Zilisch sits 34th. If you want to like and subscribe before we go further, this channel is just getting started, and every single subscriber genuinely matters. Now let's figure out how a team that came into 2026 with genuine championship expectations ended up here, and what happens next for each driver inside that building. Trackhouse entered 2026 with real optimism. Shane van Gisbergen had won 5 races in 2025, the most wins by a rookie in a single season. Ross Chastain had won the Coca-Cola 600, one of NASCAR's crown jewel events. The new pure points format rewarded consistency, and Trackhouse believed their 3-car lineup had enough collective talent to compete across multiple track types. Then came Connor Zilisch, a 19-year-old who had won 10 races in the Xfinity Series, was described as a once-a-decade talent, and drew direct comparisons to Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson from Dale Earnhardt Jr. himself. Justin Marks called him a rare talent that comes along every few decades. Through 22 races, the reality looks completely different. SVG has 2 wins, but sits 15th with a 57-point buffer above the chase cut line that Justin Marks himself described as by no means comfortable. Chastain is 21st with 0 wins, 1 top 5, and 4 top 10s. Zilisch is 34th, second to last among full-time drivers, with a single top 10 all season. The Chevrolet Camaro ZL1 has underperformed manufacturer-wide in 2026, and Trackhouse has felt that more than most. The best non-Hendrick Chevrolet in the standings is Carson Hocevar, sitting 5th, driving for Spire Motorsports, a smaller organization with significantly fewer resources. Toyota and Ford have outpaced the bow tie across most track types. So how did a team that looked like an ascending force become a team fighting for survival in the standings? And what does it mean for each driver? Let's go one by one. SVG's story is the most immediately urgent. He was 2025 Rookie of the Year, winning all 5 of his victories on road courses: Mexico City, Chicago Street Race, Sonoma, Watkins Glen, and the Charlotte Roval. The expectation for 2026 was simple. Oval improvement combined with road course dominance would equal a deep chase run. His number 97 carries deep personal meaning. His father, Robert van Gisbergen, drove that number throughout his own racing career, and SVG won all 3 of his Supercars championships with it. The car number reveal was genuinely emotional, with SVG reading a letter from his father that referenced his late mother. In 2026, he has delivered 2 wins, but sits on a 57-point cushion that sounds larger than it feels. Marks was direct. We're 50-some points up, which is a decent amount of points, but by no means comfortable. It can go away in one race. His performance at North Wilkesboro was, by Marks's own assessment, the best drive SVG had produced since arriving at Trackhouse. Dale Jr.'s read, "He'll get better, and so will TH at some point," reflects exactly how the team views the partnership: patient, long-term, and committed. For races remain Iowa, Richmond, New Hampshire, and Daytona. Short oval improvement gives legitimate optimism for the first 3. Daytona is a complete wild card where anything can happen to anyone. SVG's story is urgent. It plays out in the next 4 weeks. Chastain's story is slower, deeper, and honestly more complicated. Ross Chastain reached the championship 4 in 2022. He won multiple races in 2023. He won the Coca-Cola 600 in 2025. Across 7 full-time Cup seasons and 259 starts, he has proven he belongs at the front. 2025 was a bounce-back year. 10th in the standings, 12 top 10s. He entered 2026 with new crew chief Brandon McSwain, who brings 16 wins as a race engineer and came directly from William Byron's number 24 team at Hendrick Motorsports. Chastain described McSwain as someone I've kept my eye on for a while. The contrast between that resume and his current 21st place standing with 0 wins is jarring. But this is not a driver performance issue. Chastain said it himself early in the season. We feel like a 15th place car most weeks. The data supports him. The Chevy underperformance amplifies the problem at every track. He has experienced TrackHouse at its absolute ceiling, the 2022 championship run, the 2025 Charlotte win, and he knows exactly how wide the gap is right now. The loyalty question Dale Jr. raised is the most complicated part. When Chip Ganassi Racing shut down in 2021, Chastain's future was genuinely uncertain. Justin Marks gave him a home. That organization gave him the platform that produced everything. Dale Jr.'s assessment was clear. Ross would need a much better opportunity for him to bail on a team that gave him a shot. Loyalty would play a role in his mind. But Chastain is 33. Career windows are finite. The clock is running. At what point does loyalty become a career cost? Chastain's situation is complicated by history and heart. Zilisch's situation is complicated by something entirely different. Pure, undeniable outside interest. Connor Zilisch arrived carrying extraordinary expectations. A TrackHouse developmental driver since 2024, he won the Rolex 24, the 12 Hours of Sebring, 5 ARCA races, and his Xfinity Series debut at Watkins Glen. He demonstrated oval ability at Pocono, Dover, and Indianapolis, winning consecutively. Dale Earnhardt Jr. said incredible Hall of Fame-worthy things were possible and compared his rise directly to Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson. Randall Burnett, a veteran crew chief with 6 Cup wins, 253 races called, and the 2019 Xfinity Championship with Tyler Reddick, was placed atop his pit box specifically to accelerate his development. The result: 34th in the standings, 1 top 10, 0 top 5s in 22 starts. Second to last among full-time drivers. The gap between expectation and reality is historically significant. But Justin Marks has been explicit throughout the season. Zilisch is a lot better than where he's running. The car has not been good enough to show what the driver can do. Marks described the Cup Series to Kevin Harvick as producing a storm of new experiences every minute for someone Zilisch's age. The learning curve at 19 in the toughest series on Earth is real and documented. Then came the reports. Hendrick Motorsports has expressed interest in Zilisch for 2027. He is contracted through 2027, but contracts only hold when both parties want them to. Marks's answer was direct. Control what you can control. Build the driver, improve the car. Losing Zilisch would be a significant blow to TrackHouse's long-term trajectory. The deepest irony is this: TrackHouse developed him, and that very development may make him too valuable to keep. 3 drivers, 3 stories, but they all connect back to the same thing. What is TrackHouse Racing as an organization in 2026, and can it fix what went wrong fast enough to keep this roster together? TrackHouse's identity was built on culture, preparation, and the early next-gen era. That era rewarded exactly those strengths. Now the sport rewards aerodynamic detail at the single count level, and TrackHouse built its identity on one while learning the other. Marks was transparent. 2026 is a recalibration year. The Chevy problem is real. The best non-Hendrick Chevrolet in the standings is Carson Hocevar, 5th, at Spire Motorsports, a smaller organization with fewer resources outperforming TrackHouse, full machinery. Marks acknowledged working with both Hendrick Motorsports and RCR to share resources and find the tiny margins that are currently making the difference. The honesty is admirable. The execution speed is the question. TrackHouse started as a single-car team with Daniel Suarez in 2021 and has built 14 wins, 57 top 5s, and 113 top 10s in 5 years. This is the first season that upward trajectory has genuinely stalled. If everything holds in 2027, the picture could shift significantly. The aerodynamic gaps get identified and closed. SVG enters his second full year of oval experience with a trajectory that is clearly upward. Zilisch carries a full Cup season of hard lessons into a stronger car. Chastain finally gets the version of the car that shows what he has always been capable of. But if the roster doesn't hold, Zilisch leaving means losing the most exciting development story in the building. Chastain leaving means losing the institutional memory and organizational anchor. The honest answer is the one Marks himself gave. Nobody inside the building knows yet. Dale Jr.'s 3-sentence post was accurate about right now. It said nothing about what happens next, and that's the story heading into the offseason. SVG is surviving and trending up. Chastain is loyal, but watching his window. Zilisch is learning, but may not stay to apply what he learned. And TrackHouse is a team that knows exactly what the problem is. It just hasn't solved it yet. The next 4 races tell us whether SVG makes the chase. The off-season tells us whether this roster survives intact. And 2027 tells us whether Justin Marks' belief in this team was justified. This channel is brand new, and we are genuinely working toward 2,000 subscribers. If this kind of in-depth NASCAR analysis is what you come here for, hitting like and subscribe right now makes a real difference and helps this channel grow. Every single one of you watching is part of building something here, and that is not something we take lightly. Now here is the question we want you to answer. Do you think TrackHouse can hold their roster together for 2027? Or is this the beginning of a rebuild that changes the whole team? Drop it in the comments. We want to know exactly what you think.